You need this video if you're looking into buying solar. Hi, I'm Buselli with Buselli Solutions with over 4 decades of service to this area. I want to enlighten you with what is out there in terms of warranties. We've seen the ups and downs of what type of misconceptions are out there when it comes to solar. So first and foremost, you're going to have your solar panel that's going to be connected to either a microinverter or an optimizer system. That panel has a warranty. Your microinverter has a warranty. Your inverter optimizer system has a warranty as well. Those are separate warranties, but most of the time it's communicated as a 25-year warranty. So your panel, yes, it is a 25-year warranty on the panel. After 25 years, the industry standard is still going to be producing about 80% of what it was originally spec'd for. There are some warranties going a little bit larger than that, 30 years producing more after 30 years, but that's typically the production warranty. But if there is something wrong with the panel that they need to warranty, it's only 10 years on the labor. Keep that in mind. It's sold as a 25-year warranty. People hear 25 years, great, I've got a 25-year warranty, but labor is only 10. Moving on to microinverters. Microinverter paired with your solar panel to be the brains of the operation. The microinverter is sold as a 25-year warranty. There's one main brand out there. If you've looked into solar at all, you know who they are. They have a 25-year part warranty, but only 2 years on the labor. What a lot of customers find out is after 3 or 4 years, they've got several panels that aren't functioning, and they call up their installer if they can get them on the phone, and then they find out, oh, I've got to spend 2 guys in a truck to come to my house, get on my roof, pull my panel, pull off the inverter, and then swap them out, reprogram the system. That gets pretty expensive. That's why a lot of companies won't actually warranty their own systems, and also why a lot of companies go out of business and aren't around to actually warranty their systems at all. Optimizers, inverters, this would be specifically a solar edge system that I'm referring to. They are our main workhorse for grid tie systems. We really like their units that they sell. They're really reliable, really dependable, and optimizer sold as a 25-year part. And then you have the labor warranty being 10 years. You can extend that out to 25, which we have been doing for our customers. And then also the inverter itself that goes with the optimizer has a 10 to 12-year warranty. Then you also have 10 to 12 years on the labor. You can extend it out to 25 years, which is something that we have been doing for our customers just to give them that added confidence in their system, because they do hear horror stories within the solar industry. All of them are sold as a 25-year warranty. At Buselli, we do have that 25-year warranty across the board, but most companies sell 25-year. Most customers hear 25-year, but there are not necessarily 25 years. And this is the big one that really chews up some expense to the customer after the fact. Percentage of problems that, not industry, this percentage of problems would be us personally. What we see in the industry is very simply percentage of our panels being the problem. Service call, minimal, really, really minimal. Thousands of panels, 17 plus years installing solar, we've had maybe 6 or 7 panels go bad. Not something that we factor into our mind as far as a problem with the system. There's no moving parts, it produces electricity, and then that electricity goes through these electrical components. And this is the sensitive stuff that's gonna go bad if you have a problem. Skipping microinverter, we do see maybe 5% of our problems are optimizers. So 5% of our solar edge systems we're getting on the roof for. Not that big of a deal. And typically with that window, it's the first 1 to 2 years. If there is going to be a problem with that optimizer, it's going to fail within the first couple of years, and then anything after that, we have not seen any issues with their optimizers. Inverters, for a couple of years there was a batch of inverters that were not good. Very simply, we'd RMA the system, go out to the customer's house, swap out the inverter while we're still waiting for that replacement to come in. So we'd pull one off of our shelf, go out to the customer, swap it out so they're down for a minimal amount of time. Maybe 10% of our problems have been inverters. And then you compare that to the microinverter system, where we have not installed a lot of microinverter systems. And this is simply because we've stayed away from them. There have been problems. I think they may have solved the problem. I'm not sure. Pretty cheap price to swap out every individual inverter on the back of each panel and swap out the entire system, cables and all that. But it's still expensive because you're paying us to show up and then have to demo the system, put it all on and put it all back. So you're looking at as much as $5,000, sometimes even $10,000 in a system that you're thinking 25-year warranty. That's not that great. And the reason we have so many of these customers is because we've inherited them from people that have gone out of business. In the industry, they're called orphaned solar systems. Companies that have put it up, out of business, put it up, don't come back, don't answer the phone. So that's the unfortunate, very, very ugly side of an unethical solar industry. But of our problems are really problems that we've inherited. 85% of these customers, and then now we've taken them over. They're thankful that we've taken them over. But in the grand scheme of things, you say, well, if I have 1 or 2 microinverters go bad, what's the big deal? At least my whole system isn't down. Well, I'd much rather have have my whole system down for a couple days when I can send one guy to swap it out is a lot easier than having to coordinate two guys and the weather on the roof. Wintertime's terrible. And then come back and have to do that the next year again. And then do that the next year again. So they don't all fail at the same time. And that's the problem, is you're having this reoccurring cost. If you didn't go with a local company, that's why some companies aren't going to even warranty that, because the cost for them to warranty out of pocket, if they're 2 hours away, 3 hours away, two guys in a car, you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 just to show up and change this part that, yeah, they're going to warranty it for you, but at what cost? That's what we've seen in the industry. Again, this is our own personal data. This is our own personal information. It could be that it's just our specific area isn't good for these units. That's northeastern Pennsylvania, upstate New York. This is what we run into. This is what you're looking at for warranty. If you want more information on warranty, if you want information on cost of the system, feel free to reach out, 570-729-7791, or you could also go to busellisolutions.com, click on get a free quote, and we'll have somebody from our office reach out to you and get you that information you're looking for. I hope this was helpful. Like it if you want, and we hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.